Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And before I say anything else, Hanukkah Sameach, what and all. Yes, it's the when this video drops in Israel, it will just be the second night of Hanukkah has started. Thus, we have two, I think we over here, two little candles and one big candle. Look, if you're interested, I'll explain it on my live stream. I do them Tuesday, Thursdays, and I'll tell you why. But they're going to be there, and as I do my videos every day, we're going to get another candle going along. But anyway, Hanukkah Sameach, one and all. Bad news for anybody who thought this Doctor Who could in any way be connected with the Jodie Whittaker show called Doctor Who, and we're holding out hope that that might happen. Bad news, no. But not for the reason you think. I've just done my second watch of the episode, and oh boy, like, what other expression of love do I need to display for you? Like, I just watched that piece of garbage once again. And took screen grabs. I have, how many? 237 screen grabs, because we have a lot to talk about, boys and girls. Double down, but they double down on stuff they didn't even know they doubled down. Why do they do that? Because they're morons. But this is functionally completely separate from Doctor Who, that show that ran from 63 to 2017, right? A little break in the middle, but it's right now completely disconnected. Look, Rusty Davis could come in, could save everything. I still think he's gonna, I don't think it'll, but I think it'll be woke. Listen, I think it'll continue to be woke. I think Rusty Davis is a woke person. I've seen woke people be able to create good drama, and I think there's two things going. Two that I have hope there's going to happen. The first thing is money. I think he stands to make a lot of money if he can make Doctor Who back into a popular success, which it is not. Oh my God, the denial of the fans of this era. And listen, it's okay, you morons. It's okay that it's garbage and nobody likes it, right? It's okay. It only wouldn't be okay is if you thought it was an expression of a stunning and brave new movement where the oppressed women were going to come up and break that awful glass ceiling. Then it's not okay. But that was never true anyway. That was just an expression of your complete delusion. But if he can make it into a popular success, he stands to make a lot of money. And the second thing is pride. He took the show that everybody sneered at, everybody laughed at, said, "There's no way. Family viewing, it's never happening. They're saying for the past." This was back in 2005. They said no chance. And he turned it into the number one, not just show, property. That BBC had, probably British property, up there with James Bond, right? And now it's been destroyed. And he said in an interview when before Whittaker started, said, "Look, if it fails, it's going to reflect badly on me. It's going to reflect badly on David Tennant, on Billy Piper, on Christopher Eccleston. It's going to reflect badly on everyone." And he said that beforehand, so I think he meant it then. I have a lot of hope. But then again, I love Doctor Who, and you have hope for things that you love, right? This is not Doctor Who, and we're going to go into the reasons why in a minute. Like, share, subscribe, all those things. Freaking awesome. Thank you very much. And honestly, thank you very much. YouTube, you'd notice my subscribers went up. It's incredible. Whenever they hit, like, it's so freaking transparent. Whenever they hit, like, a round number, right? It got to like 3360, and then when it goes up, and then you start seeing it counting down again. Really, that only happens when it hits round numbers. I've been doing this for a couple of years, right? It's pretty obvious, mate. Man, I can only imagine how many subscribers I'd have if I was, favored by YouTube. Oh my God! But anyway, listen, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for everybody subscribed. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful for the amount of subscribers I have. Look, everything is a blessing, and it's even if I'm wrong, it's better to look at the world that way. Yeah, folks, like, share, subscribe, comment. I got a lot of comments to answer. I'm going to see Ghostbusters this evening, so I hope I get everything in, right? I'm planning on walking the dog in about 45 minutes. If I can, I don't know if I can get this whole episode in this time. As I started recording right now, the ratings are not out. I do a deep dive video on Wednesdays normally. Reviews are out, not kind. Not kind for this episode. Oh boy, not kind. So like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things are good. Okay, firstly, before we get into the episode, man, we've heard the expressions like white fragility so many times. This episode really speaks of female fragility. No, not female, feminist fragility, not female. I do apologize for intimating that was female fragility when it doesn't exist at all. No, feminist fragility. The idea that any man could in any way be equal or better than a girl in any way, shape, or form is an idea they are terrified by. They live in absolute fear of, and that's one of the reasons that everything they make is such unrelatable garbage, right? That nobody likes, right? Over and over again, we tell you the same thing. Nobody's really that interested in this message. And no, we're so interested in it. It's because you're biggest. We've got to make you not biggest. No. It's just you're delusional. Like saying that this episode, Doctor Who's doing well. If the overnights come out at under 3.1, which I don't think they're gonna. I think the overnights are going to be about 3.3. Because I think last week was a decent episode. 3.3, 3.35. If they come out to under 3.1, though, it's the lowest rated ever, right? It's the lowest rated ever. McCoy got 3.1 for Battlefield 1, Episode 1. That was in beginning of September, so basically still the summer. And they said, oh, but what about time shifting? That's not fair. You got to do time shifting. Otherwise, you got to compare it. Otherwise, it's not fair. People consume media in a different way. Listen, arsehole, I was there in the 80s when we consumed media. Okay, we had a thing called videos, right? VCRs, as you call them in America, video, and we would put tapes in our video recorders and we would set them to record things and we would watch it later. We would time shift in 1989, you blithering morons, right? So don't give me this bullshit that people can see media. No, shut up. Your overnights are your overnights, so shut up with your nonsense. Plus, if you really want to get pedantic, the demographics of the country are far denser now. So just by the natural growth of the population, you're going to get a higher rating. So screw you. But again, once they hit 3.1 overnights, lowest rated ever. As it deserves to be, because again, this is not Doctor Who. Fine, so let's start putting up these screen grabs. So we start off with the episode. Well, firstly, we're starting off with Country File. Country Files. People like it. Amazing. People like Country File, right? So Country File ends and they're talking about, they got a bunch of school kids making a wall out of horse shit. And I'm not joking. They're making a wall out of horse shit. And I'm like thinking, well, they're kind of making Doctor Who the same way. I guess they're getting trained. And then, they talk about forest schools. And I'm sorry I found this interesting because my son went to an agricultural school. Which was so good for him, right? It was like, honestly, the mainstream education system, I know this is a big tangent, mainstream education system is okay for about 60% of kids. The top 20% and the bottom 20% in terms of intelligence, not in terms of academic performance, but in terms of intelligence. The most intelligent kids don't have the best academic performance. As most intelligence are often are not served whatsoever by the mainstream educational system. I love the idea of out-the-box things. So my son went to this agricultural school. There was also a religious school. So you would get up at like 5 in the morning and they'll go and work in till the land in Israel, which is like a big religious thing, do farming. And they were talking about that a lot, and I thought, that's the kind, because not all kids learn the same way. So I was like, that's actually the thing that I found most compelling out the whole hour that I was strapped to the chair trying to watch this nonsense. And then the end Country File, I'm thinking, oh my, so much programming made possible by drone photography. All of this is just some drones floating up and giving nice. There we get an ad for Peaky Blinders. And I have to say, more I think about it, this MP, member of Parliament, this politician who said that the Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who is driving boys to crime because there aren't good role models. I think he has a reasonably good point here, and if you can, the reason I think he has a reasonably good point. I saw it on Peaky Blinders. I'm like, the only characters that are compelling on TV right now are criminal men, right? The women can't have any flaws in them. Black people can't have any flaws. Remember, white men. Sorry, black people can't have any flaws in them. Gay people can't have any flaws in them. Trans people can't have any flaws in them. White men are allowed to have flaws, and therefore they're relatable and interesting. So Peaky Blinders, I was watching Peaky, I was like, yeah, I'm up for that ad. I was like, yeah, I should really do a rewatch of Peaky Blinders. I do like a bit of Peaky Blinders. Fine. So fine, that's as I said, a tangent. So then we get the previously, and amazing stuff they showed wasn't all bad, right? It was they managed to pick out the moments that weren't terrible, the moments without Jodie Whittaker mainly that weren't terrible. And then Jodie Whittaker wanders in, and she's terrible, right? Then we get like the awful titles, no cold opening. Always a mistake, Chibs. Always a bloody mistake not to have a cold opening. You could have had a scene. I'll tell you the scene you should use as a cold opening in a minute. Well, when we get to it. So, terrible. And then we get Stone Jodie. Stone Jodie shows up. Here, maybe like this. Can I adjust this so I can get to more screen grabs at the same? Okay, fine. So Stone Jodie, we see it. She turned, and then we pull out, and she sees she's amongst lots and lots of angels, right? Then instantly the cliffhangers are forgotten. She just starts de-angelifying and turning into Jodie. But this is like not in a real space that she's in, right? It's in a there's very obviously a virtual space, but of course she can't work it out because it's Jodie Whittaker's Doctor who is a moron. I mean, just where am I? What's going on? Oh, and she tries to have a confrontation with the angels, and God, she's so shit. She's look at this. I mean, like that. Why does she think? Why does anybody think this is working? I mean, really, why does any? I like look at that. That face looks cruel and cowardly to me, right? That face looks very, very cruel and cowardly. And then she says, he said, where me friends? And he said, oh, we left them in the village. We abandoned them. Oh, they're lost in time. Excuse me, that village was sucked out of time last week, wasn't it? So you're saying you put everybody back, including the companions, and so they could go and fight you in somewhere? And like, why? Why don't you just kill them? I mean, especially when you find out what the plan was. But oh God, it's all so stupid. So then we have the scene that should have been the cold opening. We go 1994 Mexico, and oh God, it is vomit in your mouth, man. Yaz is insufferable. This is Indiana Yaz and the Temple of Cringe. I mean, it's oh God, she's insufferable. So she's on this stunning and brave mission. So first, the inside the temple, it breaks. The ceiling bursts open, and Dan falls down. Boom, because he's a stupid man. Stupid man, not stunning and brave like Yaz. Boom. Oh, icky thump. And then Yaz comes down like perfect, like, look at me, I'm just the bestest ever, and she's in charge. And they're finding some MacGuffin, who gives a crap, whatever they're finding. And then you find out Jellicoe was with them when Dan has pulled up, and Jellicoe also flumps down because he's also stuck. And like, okay, they're lost in time. I'm saying, given the premise that they put their stolen village back where it was, leaving Dan, Yaz, and Jellicoe there, displaced in time for reasons that we don't know. Given that, right, now they have no money, no identification, no nothing. Right, they somehow they are ultra wealthy explorers now. Right, somehow that happened. And Yaz is lead, and she's just insufferable. Right, okay, I've said this many times about Mandit Girl. I'm going to give you a different example. You know, Mandit Girl is, if you went to, like, some kind of murder mystery evening, and she was one of the people working there, she wouldn't be bad, right? She can't act! What the hell? She can't act! Especially when you put him next to this guy, who actually is a professional actor, who's not bad. Speaking of not acting, back at Jodie, they say, oh, we've arrived. He's like, hey, I don't understand I understand, you stupid cow. Like, what? Oh, what's going on? So he covers her face up again, and she angel fires, and then, woo, this Ood is shining a flashlight at her, de-angelifying her. So basically, Jill was just turned into an angel for transport, right? And this face is amazing, right? Because she's confused. Who would have thought it, right? Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who is confused. So, Icky Thump, where am I? Oh, I don't understand. I don't know. It says, please follow me. So they follow into this room with this woman, the woman the woman in white again with a hat. She's under this giant tree, which they never explain, that they ripped off from Game of Thrones, essentially. And she's like, hello, I'm the Doctor, Icky Thump, I'm the bestest ever. And then she goes, oh, but of course I know. I'm now a villain. Then we flash over to 1904 Constantinople. How they got from, where was it? They were, this is their first world, they were in Mexico, and now they're in Constantinople. How are they affording this? We don't know. We don't know how this is financially possible in any way. How they travel so far, so much in the year, we don't know. We don't know. It's one of the things. It's one of the things we're not supposed to know. So in Constantinople, they got the MacGuffin, Indiana Yaz and her two bumbling companions. And they take it to a wise woman because, you know, I didn't need to say the word woman because that's kind of redundant, isn't it? A wise woman who's deciphering the runes on, I think, the thing they found in Mexico to translate it. But then there's an evil man shows up and kills somebody next door. And Yaz is stunning and brave, waiting for the results. Then Jellicoe says, do you smell burning? And again, it's so not fair putting Mandip Gill on screen with this guy. Because, like, look at this guy. He's acting. Look at Mandip Gill. She's acting. Do you see the difference? A, B. A, B. Can act, can't act. Can act, can't act. And you can see that from a bloody still. Right? Look, I mean, just look how unconvincing this is. So Jay is something burning, but of course Yaz is stunning and brave. She smells it. She smells burning. Whoa, what's going on? She says, but again, she's just the bestest ever, Yaz. It kind of reminds me. There was a Steven Seagal movie one, and I'm going to tell you, this is not a guilty secret that I used to watch Steven Seagal movies. No, I used to work in a video store, right? In a video store, and you know when you went into video, this is back in the 90s. Videos, time shifting, that thing that didn't happen, right? You remember when you went into video stores and you kind of got the feeling that the kid working behind the counter was stoned out of his mind. Well, if you're on a 12-hour shift, yeah, that's kind of what you do. Apparently, allegedly, kids don't do drugs. Anyway, so that was playing in the background of this video store once, and Steven Seagal, like he sniffs again. That smells like C5. And it's the same thing. It's the same. So the Jazz smells. Yaz says, something's up because she works out there's a dynamite blowing and the fuse goes. So she runs around. She tells them, the men, the useless companions, to get everybody out quickly. And then she puts carpets on top of the dynamite to stop the explosion. We don't know who did this. We find out relatively. No, you actually don't. I only worked it out after painstakingly going through this garbage. They survive the explosion somehow, and then they end up on a steamship. They're going to be on this steamship a lot this episode, but it's not one voyage. They go on it a lot of times. So they're on the steamship, and there's a knock at the door, and Jellicoe and Yaz, I think, are pretending to be married. And so Dan is a stowaway, as he has to hide under the bed every time somebody comes in. Well, look, okay, if they have unlimited funds to do this, why don't they get two cabins, one for the boys and one for Yaz? Like, what? Like, okay, one second. Jellicoe is from 67, right? Now, I recall, 2015, according to Yaz, was such a racist world. Such an incredibly racist world that Yaz was bullied in Yorkshire, the Muslim capital of England, for being Muslim around, 2015? Like something like that. But in 67, no racism whatsoever, and not even in 1904. So now Yaz is apparently married to, like, okay, a young brown girl is married to an older white man. It's just not done, was it? That's right. And again, isn't this the biggest racist world ever? Don't we need representation so we don't hate one another in everything? Like disproportionate representation in every time for everything, always. Yeah, don't apply logic and reason. This is a Christian script. So anyway, Dan has to hide under the bed as Yaz pretends to be married to. Again, the only way they could be sharing a room is if they're pretending to, in 1904, they're pretending to be married, right? Okay. So in comes the waiter, and Yaz immediately works out there's something dodgy about this waiter, right? As you can see, a spider senses, because she's Yaz. She's the bestest ever, right? She's the bestest ever. And then the guy turns out bad. Boom! He hits Jellicoe over the face with the gun, and she gets to a fight with Yaz. Now here is one point where it gets, you see the agenda everywhere. So he has his hands around Yaz's throat. Don't you know she's on the protected status? She's on the, what's the name? She's a protected class. She's on the, what's this stack? The, some expression for the stack of people who are marginalized in their world, and you're not allowed to touch them. So somebody's got a hand around her. Now, suddenly, she's imbued with such incredible strength. She's up to, stunningly embrace and push him off, just so you can see the, if you're eagle-eyed, this dragon tattoo, right? Now, he's screaming, "You can't fight the future," at the time. And like, look, he's a big bloke, and she's a little girl. But that doesn't matter. Boom! Into a knee in the goulash. Dan, meanwhile, thinks, oh, maybe I should get up and help. No, because Yaz's the best ever. Yaz beats off to her, the assailant. Like, boom! Beats him up. It's so stupid. And knocks him to the ground using Yaz's feet to trip him up with. As he says, "Quick, get on his feet, get on his feet." So, and he's like, "No, I won't tell him. You can't fight the future." And then, it's not that he bites down on a poisoned tooth. No, he's able to put his hand in his mouth. Because, again, this is a woman with the superhuman strength that she went from this to this, right? But she can't stop him putting a pill in his mouth. No, don't kill yourself. Who sent you? And killing himself. No, she can't do that because she's not quite stunning and brave enough. Oh, no. So then they look down at the body, and Yaz is just weird at this point. She's like, okay, just hide him under the bed. But Dan's like, I sleep there. He's like, well, just till later, and then when it's night, you and Jellicoe go and chuck him off the side. It was like, and they look at her like, what? You're like, you want to dispose of a corpse? It's like, and she's like, yeah, well, there's no point being squeamish. We've got the future to save. It's like, okay, she needs to be in counseling, this woman. There's something wrong with her at this point. It's hard being a leader, especially when you're so stunning and so brave. Now they have to jump around quickly in case your brain starts working. You start thinking about anything, which is something they do not want you to do, right? They do not want that brain to start working. You start thinking about things. Oh, wow, I'm really impressed. Okay, 1 second. I just got the rating in for last night. They did really well. It went up. It went up significantly. I'm really impressed. 3.82. That's a real climb. I tell you, Village of the Angels did them a lot of good. It was crap, but it did them a lot of good. Wow. It's not even the lowest rated ever at this point, is it? No. I'll be intrigued to see how they do next week. But okay, very good. Well done for them. Okay, fine. So we're in 1958 England, and we have General Doofus, because he's a white man, obviously. He's grouse shooting with the evil Grand Serpent, who, and they ingratiate themselves with each other. And he says, so what kind of work are you in, sir? He said, well, I don't hate to say, a military man like yourself, but I deal with the rum, the peculiar, the strange, the bizarre. He's like, well, what a stroke of good luck, by Jove! I've just been posted to set up a new thing called new thing funded by the United Nations and an intelligence task force to deal with just that. Would you like to help me out? So he's getting in at the very beginnings of UNIT, which I kind of undermines UNIT, but this is actually the best plot thread throughout the whole episode. The one without Jodie. And yet again, why? Why is the best plot thread? Because white men can be interesting. Now, the weird thing is, though, Section 1's master acted nothing like the master whatsoever. The Grand Serpent acts exactly like the master. So I don't know what to tell you. I do not know what to tell you. So now we get a creepy scene. Yaz fancies a bit of a wank. I think is really I think that's the only way of really introducing this. So she pulls out her wank mag, which is this love egg, apparently, and it plays this interactive hologram of the Doctor. And she's literally touching herself by the end. Like, oh, Doctor, oh, you're the bestest ever. Oh, and the Doctor's so sad. And yes, it's so sad. Oh, if only they could speak the love that dare not say its name with each other one more time. Oh, they're crying. And then in walk Dan and Jellicoe from disposing the body after just vomiting over themselves. So having to do such a terrible, terrible job, right? But yeah, no, it's basically a lesbian masturbation scene. I guess that's the only way to really describe it. Meanwhile, back at the division, we have the woman in white. Right, we don't know who she is yet. Meets the Doctor. She's looking. I mean, just if you don't look at the screen here, let me zoom in. Look at it. I mean, really. What? Why? What? Who thinks this is a good acting choice, right? And you know I'm not being cruel and just disingenuously picking our character still, right? You know I'm not doing that, but this is actually what this garbage looks like. What's going on? Let me look at my notes. So she lectures the woman in white. It says, "Hey, you're being evasive, and you're being evasive. A completely God, her dialogue's so awful. A completely transparent power move, and not very effective. Actually, it is. It seems to be getting on your tits, darling. No, she was. Is the woman in white in charge of the division, right? And the division's like blowing up and shaking around. Hey, what's going on, Nicky Thump?" And so they're asking like, what's going on with the division? And she's like, are you in charge of it? Said, well, it's difficult to explain, but yes, I guess I am at the top of the power structure of it right now. So then we get a bit more sneering. I mean, again, if you can look at the screen. I mean, really, that cruel, cowardly face. That's cool, cowardly, and idiotic face. This is her doing like tough, and she just can't do it, right? So she's like, I'm the division. So it's pure nonsense writing. So she says the division is simple and indescribable. Well, no, those two things don't go together, moron. So it started on Gallifrey, but as their ability to travel grew, so did they. So now they went out and they made they're part of every civilization. They're the evil shadow government. They're dull. Illuminati? They're the deep state, whatever you want to call them. And they just do whatever they want. They've recruited everyone. We don't know what their agenda is. Just they're bad, right? They're bad. So then we find out how much this is not Doctor Who, right? Again, look at these idiot faces. She made how much she's not Doctor Who. So she's like, it comes out that it gets shitter than this. Don't think it doesn't get worse. Okay, we haven't reached the bottom yet. It transpires the division is evil because it interferes, it shapes civilization, it gets involved. And the Doctor opposed that because it contravenes Gallifreyan law. What? Excuse Excuse me, have they not seen the War Games, the end of the War Games, Trial of the Time Lord? This is exactly what the Doctor's put on trial for interfering. Because Gallifreyan had the non-interventionist policy, and she wanted to go, or he wanted to go, oh God, they got me saying she, oh God, now I've got to go and beat myself with birch wigs as in penance. And she wants to, she wanted to think we had an opportunity to get involved, right? So I don't, like now she's saying, no, we got to be conformist. And see, this is what I've always said about this Doctor. Why is this Doctor not Doctor Who? Because the Doctor, it has to be a non-conformist, and she's the ultimate conformist, right? It's so contrary to character. Now, they're going to contradict this many times because they're so stupid they don't understand what they actually written. So then Jodie's like saying, but what I don't understand is how could I, shittest of all the Doctors, the worstest of all the Doctors ever, not be able to find you? And then she goes, they get a dum-dum-dum moment, says, why? Because we're not in the universe. We're outside the universe. Dun, dun, dun. I'm like, really? Again, Doctor's Wife, Battlefield, Inferno, Doomsday. We've been outside of the universe many times. Okay, this is not a new thing whatsoever. So meanwhile, back in 2021 Earth, the Wapari shield, the impossible Wapari shield is failing. So again, just to remind you, this is a bunch of dog creatures that had a species recall to come and save all the people of the planet Earth, because that's where the Flux was headed to. And so the Doctor came up after being the deathly villain of Carvanista, one of these doggy people, and nearly murdered by him many times over. She then gives him this magic formula to link up their incredibly adaptable ships in a specific way to create an impenetrable shield, that this flux cloud, which she has no idea what it is, like no idea, but it will stop it, and it does. This thing eats planets, destroys universes, and a bunch of spaceships can line up. And okay, what can we not make planets like out of the stuff they make these spaceships out? It's so stupid. So then Dogboy notices that one of the ships is moving out of formation, and so he recalls it's a bad screenshot. I apologize. He recalls the only Volpari ship didn't come with a species recall, and that ship is the one, of course, commandeered by the wonderful Bell. Right, Bell was about to go to this, I don't know, this claw-like planet sort of structure, but then again she's recalled by Calvinista, and they shout at each other a bit, going, oh no, don't you do that, I'm stunning and brave, oh, I'm a girl, you can't stop me because I'm a girl. Meanwhile, right after that, Vinder then materialized on the planet. Now, I want to tell you what planet it's on, because this is an example of the terrible direction that this episode had. He's actually on this planet. Like, so he just shows up after her, and she gets whisked away from there. So he just shows up after her and lands on the same planet. So that's a reasonably important plot point. The Vinder's walking around with his gun. He's so obviously Captain Jack, right? He's so obviously a Captain Jack replacement. And on this planet, there's a bunch of these blue lanterns. It's like, well, I don't know what they are. And the blue lanterns are being overseen by the evil swarm over here, and he says, he's got again another stupid line. He says, objects, you are, you are space and we are time, you are our playthings and our food source, our power source, what, and then he blows them all up like that. So he's like, now keep in mind, last time he saw him, he completely took him over and put him on the plinth, was about to have all the time run through him and rip him apart. So he knows he's a bit of a bad guy, right? He knows he's stronger than him, but no, that doesn't really play into his decision-making process at all. And so then after they evaporate this bunch of people, they said, now we're ready to connect, obviously with the Doctor, or whoever this is. So now back at the division, we get the info dump an info dump of first your tech babble for no reason whatsoever, and explain how they can exist outside the universe. They put these little badges on them so they go. Like you describe the problem that nobody thought of, that's not important whatsoever. And then you described your solution to the problem that nobody thought. I mean, okay, whatever. And then you get to hear the evil woman in white's evil plan because she's evil somehow. Okay, we don't know quite why, but she's just evil. Again, this is what people without morality trying to do heroic stories come up with. So she says that the division is the universe is dying, and the division is in the process of crossing over to the new one. They're moving everything from the old, everything they want from the old universe, to the new one, and this is their seed vault about what to put in the new universe. So this strikes me as the process by which they're going to reboot Doctor Who. Right, it does strike me as a process that they'll do that with. Because I think they're going to reboot the universe in some way. And then she said the universe has been over since we introduced a virus into it. What's the virus? The Doctor. And now it gets really, really dumb, right? So it says she got out of the division, and they couldn't, and she just couldn't leave the universe alone. She couldn't stop being good and helping people. Like, doing exactly what the division is doing, interfering, right? Which she said was bad just now. They thought she was manageable, but but morality has always been a flaw. Not this Doctor, this amoral moron. They knew she'll never stop if she discovered what the division had done. What have they done? What have they done? Like, we haven't heard of them ever. What have they done? And so they engineered the Flux to shut down the universe with the Doctor in it. In essence, they're destroying the universe to kill the Doctor because she's a threat somehow. And then she's like, and you're so bad that you even stopped the Flux by throwing a TARDIS in its way as it was formed. Okay, so apparently the reason she's so terrible is because she inspires people to question. Not this Doctor, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. She's a horrible conformist. I understand. That's what you want this character to be. But what you show this character doing is conforming. You know that being iconoclastic is a good thing. But you're so stupid that you don't know what it is. You just it's like science, right? These idiots, these Chibnall and Whitaker, these idiots, these Twitterati idiots, they go, oh, I love the science. They have no idea what science is. They just know they like it, right? You like it because it justifies a lot of your crap that you want to do, as long as you don't think too hard, which is something that you don't like either. So she inspires her, so she must be destroyed. But she's so stunning and brave, even though they're destroying the universe. To just kill the Doctor, to get rid of they're destroying the whole universe to kill the Doctor. They then took the Doctor out of the universe to prevent her from stopping them destroying the universe, which they're doing to kill the Doctor. Yes! This is how stupid this is. I mean, like, tell you this, the stupid is strong with this one. Wow, I'm telling you, I'm still blown away by that overnight. It's really strong. Given how what a shit. Although, you know what that means? More people know how shit it is. Okay. Do you reckon they're going below 3.45 next week? I hope they're going to under 3.1. I do hope. But let's wait and see. Fine. So they have a big stompy foot confrontation, right? Said, oh, but who even are you? And she said, oh, I think my eyes stay the same through generations. I am Tectoon. I'm the person you called your mother. Okay, so the reason this doesn't work, in any way, shape, or form, is like, let's take the Valiard, for example. Valiard, they spent an entire season building him up before you revealed his connection to the Doctor. This is the second time this character has been mentioned. And we know nothing about them, and it's just stupid. So then we go back to the one plot thread that doesn't make me want to hit myself in the balls with a cricket bat constantly, which will be more pleasurable than watching this garbage. And we're in 1967 England, and this is lovely. This is a lovely recreation. I think I'm really, really happy with this. And so they're in unit headquarters. If you're not looking, I'm sorry. Beautifully recreated from the set, but it messed up unit dating even more. There's sort of reference to a corporal that might be the brigadier. Who knows? And he's showing him around saying, this is very good. And then they go and say, what's that? It's, some strange thing we got from a village where everybody disappeared. That's the only thing that was left. So we can't even open it. The police says it's got nothing to do. Then we just brought it here. He said, but you want to look at this? And he shows them this crappy computer that looks a lot like the Master's TARDIS from, what was that one? Time Monster, I think. Yeah. It says, look at these things these boffins have made. This, I can just put this to your head and it tells you if you're human or not. And he puts it in, ding, gets a green light. He said, can I try it? And he said, oh, no, I'd really rather not. I'd really rather not. I said, no, but he does anyway. It comes out red. He's like, oh, must be broken. And he's like, you're just a moron. Okay, you're more, no, I'm an alien. And then he, kills him. Like, makes him, start vomiting, choking and, falls to the ground, and then suddenly after he dies, a giant snake comes out of his mouth and slithers away, goes on his back, and then vanishes, right? So there you go. So then when you thought it hasn't got shit enough, no, here it goes. So the division is destroying the universe to get to the new one. That's why the Dr. Jody had to be bought this. He said, just tell me, is what the master told me true? He says, well, okay, I'll tell you. Yes, you're the timeless child. We found you by a portal, and we saved you. He said, you stole me! You were a defenseless child alone on a planet. And he's like, how do you know somebody wasn't going to come and get me? How do you know? Oh, I don't know. No, you were going to die, okay? Children left on their own. Okay. One of the idiots, the thing these idiots in Twitter don't understand, which is why they all freaked out about the MP saying that children need role models, right? Why they freaked out is because children indeed do need role models, right? They don't understand what children are. They just think children are small adults. No! There's a child that needs to be cared for, and she's alive because of Tectoon. That's just a reality. It's but you don't know that, so they triple down on all the nonsense. And who cares? So it's back on whatever this planet is. It looks like the Death Star being built. Vinder has decided to go and creep up on Swarm and Azor, even though he knows that they can take him out easily. And they creep up on him with Passenger, and they take him out very easily. Passenger lights up, whoosh, and he's inside Passenger. Next thing you know, you get to see what life's like inside Passenger. Doesn't look that bad to me, quite frankly. I could use a vacation. Can I go in Passenger for a bit? This looks quite pleasant. I mean, I'm sure this is like the lobby. You know, I would like to see what my room is like. But yeah, this looks pretty nice. And there must be food because people are still alive there. So he's like, what's going on? Who are you? Said he, I'm the one-armed woman, and I'm also stunning and brave. So now we go to yet another location they've been sent to. And this is, oh God, it's all such a useless shaggy dog story, like Wild Goose Chase. They're in 1904 with their unlimited funds, but they can only have one cabin. Unlimited funds. They go to the pool. They climb up a mountain because they're going to find this holy man, right? Weirdest freaking scene ever. Just weird. It looks a lot like Tom Baker's Rasputin to me. And he's completely balmy. He's like, do you have any good gossip? Yeah, come on. I'm a hermit. I don't hear any gossip. And he said, no, I'm just teasing. Do you have any food? Said, no, we didn't bring food. Oh, why do you bring food? I said, no, I'm just teasing. I don't get to tease people often because I'm a hermit. So then eventually he says, I have a 3-word thing. I get a 3-word message to tell you. What's that 3 words? And it's the stupidest thing ever. Fetch your dog is those 3 words, right? Fetch your dog. So then we go, we triple down on Indiana Yaz and the Temple of Fringe. And we get a full Indiana Jones map sequence. Only with Yaz in it. I said, I've got an idea. Fetch your dog. I know what that means. So, again, This is everything. You've got all the information and why they decided to do this. Now they go to the Great Wall of China, right? They go after trying to decide where to go. Great Wall of China, and they take lots of tins of paint there, obviously more than you see here, and they start lots of painting one white, right? Lots of big painting, and yeah, just stunning and brave, just stunning and brave. And Jellicoe is like, "Whoa, I hope it works. I guess we're never gonna know, never gonna know if it's any good." And then you pull out and you see they deface the ground around the Great Wall of China, saying, "Carvanista, Dad is here. 1904. Fetch your human." Like, how many months must this have taken? Did anybody notice? Like I don't know. Like, how do they get away with this? But it works. Carpenter sees it and says, "Oh, but I don't have time travel." You're a member of the division! You were the Doctor's squad in that boring ass prehistory crap. And you don't have time travel. Okay. So useless. Totally useless. Totally useless. So then back at division, Tectoon has gone off, I don't know, to be evil somewhere else, leaving her alone to have a chat with you. Say, don't you know there's more Ood out there? They're gonna die in the universe too. And he's like, just show me the universe. And she shows him and says, okay, what part of the universe is this? This is all the universe. That's all that's left. It's mostly been destroyed since the Flux. So then she goes, I know what to do. What can be compressed can be decompressed. Really? Okay, arsehole. Get yourself a nice cute little hamster. Nice little cute hamster. Little furry hamster. Ooh, little Harry the hamster, right? And get yourself a baseball bat. Compress the hamster. Boom, boom, boom. Compress it down. Okay, now, Doctor, decompress that. No, you idiot! Things that aren't compressed can't be decompressed. Just because you can put the word D in front of it doesn't mean that you can do that. And he's like, I hear all the whispering. Icky thump, I hear whispering. Oh, and it's a bad recreation of the whispering you heard from the Family of Blood and Human Nature from the Bob Watch. And then you get a quick vision of the floating house from, I think, second episode. And then she sees where it's coming from. Dun, dun, dun! There's a fob watch with all her missing lives in it. Now, this is, of course, not the way a chameleon arch works, okay? Obviously, Chibnall cannot invent anything for himself because he's an idiot. A talentless idiot. So then, okay, so we discovered that MacGuffin. That's not that one. There you go. Yeah, that's better. Now we go to 1985, and they're having a nice lunch in an upper class like club. This bloke who was in It's a Sin, it was pretty good in it. He played the haberdasher, that the first victim that we saw that was a member of our cast in It's a Sin worked for, and he was also gay and very like hidden about it. A good actor, I like him. So he's retiring as the person in charge of the oversight of unit. And the Grand Serpent wants to take over. He says, "Not in a million border, sir. People don't like you, Prentice. I'm not gonna. You'll never be in charge of the oversight of unit." Like, why isn't he in charge now? Then later, a car pulls up for him, and we get a nice reconstruction of the scene from Terror of the Autons. With the it's more of an amalgam of the scene with the plastic doll that comes alive in the back of the car. Because of the heat. So I mean, it really is like, and also the policeman turning around at the end of the cliffhanger over there, and so it's like, and he does that to kill the guy. A big snake comes out of his mouth, and he says, I used to have empires to do this with. It's the first time we got a chat. We get an idea what's going on with this guy, but I can't beat the personal touch. He is essentially the master. Right, the weirdest thing, essentially the master. Meanwhile, they're back on the ship because unlimited money. Don't know how. Unlimited money. Really, they could have explained that somehow. And after all this MacGuffin, all running around the whole world over a full year or however long it took them, all of a sudden the answer comes walking into their room as the bloke from the tunnels in Liverpool shows up and just walks in and said, blind, damn your eyes, sir, blah, 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 you're the worst, I don't know, sir, yeah, essentially what goes on. And he said, oh, it's what's his name, Williamson? I got this in my notes, he's a real person. He's Joseph Williamson, famous for the Williamson tunnels, because Dan knows all about Liverpool history because he's Dan. He loves Liverpool. So then they go back to Liverpool, 1904. Could have just gone straight there. Missed that whole thing. So then they talk to somebody who knows about it, and we get this really weird interaction. He says, "Is there any way you can get down there?" She again, no racism in 1904. No, 2024, 2014. Yes. Lots of racism. We have overwhelming racism now. Then, none whatsoever. How do we know there's no racism? Because this bloke flirts with Yaz, like a normal person would do. He's like, oh, you don't want to go down there, miss. It's all dark and dirty and people get scared. Don't want a pretty girl like you now seeing a ghost. He was flirting. He was calling a pretty girl because that's how you flirt, to see if somebody reacts well to that. And then you can go out for a drink. And this is how we marry and reproduce. This is a good thing, right? And she's like, you don't have to worry about this pretty girl. Oh, no. Well, darling, don't worry. I'm not worrying about that pretty girl. And again, no racism. Racism doesn't exist there. So they get down to the tunnels, and thankfully this is nearly over. Right? Thankfully this is nearly over. Get down there, and of course they find him straight away. Dan tries to talk to him, but it doesn't really work out because he's a man. He's a man. But Yaz then does, because she's Yaz. Yaz is stunning and brave. And he's like, oh, at last, somebody who understands me. Okay. Meanwhile, fob watch, right? She's just hanging there. She can just take it and open it, right? Just take it and open it. So then she walks back and says, oh, yeah, that's all your lives. Everything's there. And said, oh, look, by the way, that weeping angel that betrayed you, we called her, and I don't know. So yeah, so this is just hanging there. She says, has all your parts. How many lives are there? Oh, we're not over there. How many lives are there? He said, is it a few? Is it hundreds? Is it thousands? You get the idea. It's thousands, right? Again, this isn't the way that works, but who cares? But she says, listen, if you rejoin the division, you will give you all your memories, and you can come with us to the universe, or you can go back to your old universe and just try and save it in a futile gesture. Which, okay, obviously that's what she's going to do. Now we're in 2017. I forgot to get the date. Now we're in 2017, and Prentice is in charge of unit. Kate Lethbridge Jewish has worked it out, right? And he's closing down unit. So this was written in because he's going to say now, and you know he's going to say it, says, that line in resolution, we always planned to resolve it this way. No, you didn't, you lying piece of shit. No, you did not. Don't believe you. So Kate's onto him, and then she walks out and she says, I got a filter on me, like psychic filter, so I can't die like the other people have died around you. So then she goes home, she puts the key in the lock, and it lights up a thing and blows up, right? And she jumps out the way because she's stunning and brave. Calls Osgood, says, Osgood, I gotta go dark. Breaks the phone, off she goes. Back in 2021, Bell turns up with to complete the Volpari shield that makes no sense. Dogboy teleports on. They have a reasonably good fight, but isn't she heavily pregnant? Like, have you ever been around somebody pregnant? Right? I get, like, it just... People heavily pregnant normally don't jump around firing two guns at at people, right? It's just that doesn't normally happen, but they get stopped by something attacking them. Then in 1904, back there, he leads them to the heart of the place, and there's all these different portals to all these different worlds. But on Halloween, it all went to Flux. And all the doors now lead to different places. It's a watery ocean, it says there. Is that Marinus, you reckon? Who knows? Endless cities of steel. Could be Skaro, I guess. Who knows? Who knows? And then there's this door, which is door 9, Rays of Death, never open. Very bad, very bad. In 2021, he's in charge of unit, even though it's been disbanded. And he says, "Okay, take down all our all the shields and point all the weapons at Earth." So wait a minute, how is unit in charge of the Volpari shield? Or is there a whole nother plan they had to take that one down? Again, the Earth defenses, 20th century Earth defenses, okay, but a Flux defeating dog spacefaring dog civilization shield, that seems a little bit bigger, a bigger deal to deal with. But no, they're focused on it. So this has been his plan. He's stayed on Earth, since 70 years to do this. Apparently escaping, he used to be a big deal. And he says, point all defense at Earth, and his operative also has a serpent, because he's Grand Serpent tattoo. And he says, okay, feel free to invade. And he's talking to the Sontarans and says, Sontar, we will defeat Earth for all the terrible shame they brought on us. And all the Sontaran ships show up around Earth for reasons. And they invade Bell and Carvinista's ship. And they also invade the tunnels. Sontar, right? Always good to have, say, but, I'm so stunning and brave, I don't know what to do. So then we get a really awful doctor speech. Like, again, look at this cruel, cowardly face, right? Cruel, cowardly, and idiotic face, right? She does a doctor speech really badly. Says, right, I'm going to, let me see what it, so, he said, I'm going to save my friends, I'm going to save that universe, and then I'm going to destroy the division. And hold on to your hat, because you, me, and the end of the universe, it's personal now. Oh, God, what awful dialogue. And I'm going to win! And then we get actually a good line of dialogue delivered well. In walks Swarman Azur, and he says, no. He really delivers that line. No, you foolish idiot. So he's breached the division with the aid of a psycho-temporal bridge he's been building using the Doctor as a gateway and powered on the lives of the aliens, of the lives of the people inside Passenger from the unit, apparently, I think. And they use the Doctor so they can get out the universe and access to all divisions, to all the universe, and to the division, right? And so he wants revenge on them for imprisoning them and access to all other universes. So Tectoon then goes down. And all the time, Doc's saying, no, don't kill. I mean, you just said you were going to kill. Like, literally, under a minute ago. What, like, do you have a brain injury? No, don't do that, icky thump. And then the cliffhanger is you can just see his hand at the bottom here. Swarm turning to the Doctor, saying, "Now, Doctor, you're next." But not in the good way. Then we get the trailer. The Vanquishers, final chapter. The Vanquishers. Sontarans have invaded the Earth and taken over the Earth. Kate Lethbridge is the head of the human resistance. There's this guy in the distance who suddenly explodes, bish, wash, into that thing. Beyond the Sontaran ships, a Dalek ship shows up. I like the Dalek ship design. Then we get a bit of Cyberman action there. Jellicoe going, ah! And we see Claire again. I guess she's back somehow. Why the Angel pick her? Who gives a shit? We don't know. This is one of the things we're never going to answer. The Covenant goes, ooh! He howls like a dog, because does, I guess. Doctor has more of a vision, and she sees herself, I think, fluxing away. And she says, "Hey, you're trying to kill me!" And it looks like they're going to just open the watch to her and make her experience her many lives, right? That she hasn't experienced. And then, boom. And then we have the two names of why this is so. The three names of why this is so awful. Matt Stevens and Chris Chibnall's for BBC, right? Yeah, why is this so awful? All the above. All the above. Regardless how awful it is, it did relatively well. I am surprised how well I'm not surprised because my theory has been that if you have a good episode, your subsequent episode will reflect that in the ratings. And I think Village of the Angels was it was a reasonable impersonation of a good episode, right? It was a reasonable impersonation of a good episode, so I think it did relatively well. 3.82, which is an increase. It's still the third lowest. It's the third lowest rated episode of the season. God, I'm sorry. It is 3.82. That makes it the third lowest rating of all time. No, we got what here? Lowest rating of all time. Let's look over here. Was well, anyway, we're just looking at the overnight. So overnights don't really. We got was it 3.82? Where did it go down to? The 3.71 is the lowest the overnights have gone down to. Yeah, I think that's the 3.71, right? So then you got 3.71, 3.78. Yeah, 3.78, 3.81. That's 3 episodes. 4 episodes, 5 episodes. It's the 6th lowest rated episode of Doctor Who. Okay, that's how they did. The 6th lowest rated episode of Doctor Who, narrowly beating out 5 other episodes of Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who. Okay, so like, don't start. Jodie fans, don't start sucking each other's dicks just yet, darling. Okay, it's not a time to pop the champagne corks. And let's just see how they're going to do next week. I reckon they're going to go below 3.45. I'm hoping below 3.1. This might be. I mean, I thought episode 3 was a killer. They lost 300,000. I thought, yeah, but let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Who knows or dares to dream? My name is Tzvi Lebetkin. I've lived through it. You've lived through it too. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.